I'm a seller. I've got something to sell. You're a buyer. You need to buy what I have to sell. It's a perfect match. It ought to be. Something's off. Something's not happening right. We're miscommunicating, and that's causing pressure. We're going to talk about that next with Robert Perry on Purpose Under Pressure. Welcome back. My name's Bryan, and this is Purpose Under Pressure. It's a podcast about developing sales and leadership success on purpose and under pressure. It's brought to you by the professional sales and leadership training team at Sandler by the Ruby Group. You will find them in Akron and Columbus, Ohio, Jacksonville, Florida. They're in Capital Region, New York. They do their work on purpose so you and your team can represent that way. You know, no gimmicks and sales tricks. Real sales and leadership development. You can connect with them online at therubygroup.sandler.com. The Ruby Group, master the pressure, lead with purpose, deliver results. Don't forget to like us, follow us, subscribe, tell a friend. That helps others to know this show is worth a listen because, well, we've all got pressure, right? So let's get cooking. I've been selling for a long time. I think 35, 37 years. I mean, way more than half of my life. And I know there are times when everything is right? The buyer needs to buy what the seller has to sell. It just makes total sense. Everyone's going to do great, but it's not happening. The seller and the buyer, something's out of whack. We're not in sync. We're both going to lose. If the sale doesn't happen, nothing good happens. And we're both going to lose unless something changes. So basically, we're not communicating. That's adding pressure. And I want to talk today about buyer communication styles. I want to do it with my friend, Robert Perry. He's a Ruby Group partner and trainer and my guest today on Purpose Under Pressure. Robert, how you doing, my friend?
Great, Bryan. Thanks for having me.
I'm really glad you're here. Robert, tell me what's going on here? What's happening when we're not tracking, we're not communicating? What's the problem? What's happening?
You know, I loved how you posed that question. Oftentimes we are in those scenarios where it just doesn't feel right. And sometimes we got to allow our gut to kind of tell us something's not right there. But some of the things that maybe present themselves early during the engagement with a buyer or a prospect might be surrounded around their behaviors. It might be their body language. There's certain cues with the eyes, the eyebrows, how we shift in our seats that the sales individuals we work with, those are small things we do to help encapsulate the conversation of trying to sell your products and or services.
How can I tell that that's the issue? So it's not working. Are there cues? What did you mean by, shifting in my seat? Is it something I need to do, or is it the buyer's problem?
You know, oftentimes we put too much pressure on the sell because we as the sales individuals are often telling how this deal should work and why it's so beneficial to your world and how much money return on investment you'll get just by listening to me. But listening, as I mentioned before, comes in the terms of our eyes too, watching buyer language. Now, an area where we spend a considerable amount of time on with our sales teams are simply around what we call the DISC profile. Many of you know it as a personality test, but we structure time with you so that you learn how to frame it in terms of a communication tool and not a personality test. And by communication tool, that's usually where things start to fall, the wheels fall off the wagon. Maybe the salesperson, in this case, Robert, says something that is just not hitting right. And so as I'm saying it and presenting my case through the lens of what my personal DISC profile is, I might be missing the mark with the buyer.
Yeah.
And therein lies the body language, the confused look, maybe even the question about something I've already repeated to them. So when you come to the Ruby Group, there are certain things we do. We assess you right off the top, just so you can get a framework and understanding of who you are.
Who you are.
Yes. Now, that works out tremendously. You have a good idea of who you are, where you fit in the world, and how you sell. But the idea and the concept behind us assessing you is so that you can recognize the other three quadrants. And those are usually the people you and I are selling to.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so who needs to change? So let's say, Robert, let's say you and I are selling each other, and you're I'm not real familiar with the disc pro, but you're one type and I'm in the other type. Do I need to say, hey, Robert, you need to come to my side of the table, or do I need to change because I am who I am and
Yeah.
you who you are? How do we dance?
The onus for that effort really falls upon the salesperson.
Yeah,
That's
got to.
our job,
Yeah,
to create an environment in which ideas can flow back and forth across the table. So we need, as salespeople, to create a nurturing environment where we can qualify through the lens of understanding some of the challenges that are going on there.
yeah,
And I frame it in terms of analyzing what is their DISC or preferred communication style. Now, when you look at communication styles, that's set in place in the first 90 to 120 seconds in an
yeah.
engagement. So that's why we spend a considerable amount of time really talking about DISC and analyzing it so that our sales teams who go out in the field have that opportunity in that first 90 seconds to really pick up on, is this person a dominant personality? Might they be an influencer? Are they a steady relator? Or perhaps are they more compliant where they really are looking for data and return on investment?
Yeah. And I think that one thing you can do that I used to do and still do sometimes is I'll look at LinkedIn and try to see how someone communicates, what's important to them. And then there's certain cues that I can take, or even in the phone call I made in the first place, to kind of guess what the buyer communication style might be so that I can try to make sure that they feel very comfortable when we're selling. But, and this might be the final question here, Robert, if I'm in the heat of it and we're talking and we're going and everything ought to be clicking, but it's not, how, and I missed it, right? His or her buyer communication style just didn't match. It's on me, right? Onus is on me.
Correct.
What can I do to reset or to change? I can't just completely change in the middle of my chair. They'll be like, what just happened to Bryan? But what maybe I need to. What can I do to reset the situation to try to save what otherwise could be a great opportunity for all of us?
Bryan, let me tell you, if you feel it in your heart and in your gut that something's wrong there,
Yeah.
we as salespeople need to raise our hand and call a foul right there
Oh
and
man.
say, hey, you know what? We've got to own it.
How does
Hey,
that
Bryan,
work?
Bryan, and it may sound like this. Bryan, I'll be honest with you. I'm judging by the look on your face and maybe some of these concerns you have that maybe my message didn't come across quite the way I wanted it to.
Oh.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we reset the conversation and really go back to starting with some of the challenges that you've explained to me as to why we are meeting?
Mm.
What are the challenges you want solved? And maybe I missed something there. Let's kind of walk through that and slow walk this. And if we can be vulnerable on both sides and share some information, then you'll see how we can both co create a solution that will be beneficial to both you and to me.
Oh man, I love that because one of two things is going to happen and they're both good. Well, maybe one of three things. No, man, one of two things is going to happen. They're both good. One, the sales are going to say, "No, man, Robert, you're killing it. You're doing great. I'm ready to roll. This is great. You're misunderstanding me. We're good."
Yeah,
Like, and that would reset. Everybody would feel great. It was on you. The other thing would be, "Wow, Robert, thank you. Thank you." Because I didn't know how to tell you. I wasn't getting this. So yeah, can you explain this thing or talk about this thing? It just makes it better for everybody. And so, Robert, it's scary to do, but you could actually say, look, man, this is on me. How do we fix this? Is that what you're saying?
exactly. And don't we seem more consultative in our approach when we have the opportunity to maybe say something that they're not used to? They're used to sales individuals overselling,
Ramming it down.
trying to drive, just being drivers versus, hey, if this doesn't make
Mm.
sense or fit in your world, perhaps we should just both walk away from the table and shake hands and just agree that maybe we can revisit this down in a couple quarters.
Robert, that's tremendous. I love talking to Sandler trainers and partners because man, you guys just get it, and that's not a high pressure sales tactic. That is take the pressure off, and restart and rekindle. And with four different, I'm doing the math in my head, with four different disc profiles and two sellers at least at the table. We haven't talked about all the people that might be in a presentation pitch or something like that. The odds of things being out of whack are pretty high. We should expect that we're going to miss it somehow, right?
Correct.
Tremendous. Robert Perry, thank you so much for helping us with that and talking through buyer communication styles. I really appreciate your partnership and your appearance here on Purpose Under Pressure. That's Robert Perry. He's a partner and trainer at Sandler by the Ruby Group. You can reach out to him on LinkedIn or learn more about the Ruby Group and Sandler sales training at rubygroup.sandler.com. Folks, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening and watching. You'll find all past episodes of Purpose Under Pressure at bryanmediastrategies.com/podcast and wherever you stream your favorite shows. It's brought to you by the Ruby Group. Master the pressure, lead with purpose, deliver results. We do this every week, and we will see you next time on Purpose